Here are 5 signs that God is calling you to a vocation. I'm always getting DMs from people saying, Father, how do I know if God is calling me to priesthood, to married life, or to consecrated life? Well, the answer is going to be different for every single person because God deals with us uniquely. However, there are some very common signs, and here they are. The first sign is a persistent thought or desire. The idea of loving and serving God in a particular way, whether the priesthood, married life, consecrated life, just keeps popping up in your mind, even if it seems crazy at first, like it did for me. This often will happen in the context of prayer, but it can also happen just in day-to-day life. It's almost like a thought that you just cannot shake. The second sign to look out for is joy, excitement, and peace arising within you when you're discerning a particular vocation. Pay particular attention to the gift of peace because this is not something that can be counterfeited by Satan. It is an exclusive gift of the Holy Spirit. So if you're thinking about priesthood, consecrated life, or marriage, and all of a sudden you're flooded with this sense of peace, it could be the case that your deepest desires are lining up with the will of God that has been imprinted on your heart. Saint Ignatius knew this very well, and he talks about it in his spiritual exercises when he says, "For it is not in knowing much, but realizing and relishing things interiorly that contents and satisfies the soul." That's basically a fancy way of saying, if it comes from God, it hits different. The third sign is positive affirmation. Oftentimes, God works through other people in our lives who are attentive to His grace. So if you have friends or family or parishioners regularly saying things to you like, you would make a great priest, or you would make a great husband or wife one day, really pay attention to that kind of advice because it could be the Holy Spirit inspiring those words. I like to think of Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpens iron as one person sharpens another. In other words, pay attention to other Christians of goodwill. The fourth sign is the opening of doors. If you start moving in the direction of the vocation that God has called you to, He's going to make that path straight for you. For example, in my own life, when I started considering and pursuing priesthood, all of these opportunities began to arise, like retreats, very well-timed reading material, as well as scholarships. That doesn't mean that there's going to be no obstacles in your path, but God will at least make the way forward possible. Revelation 3:8, I have placed an open door before you that no one can shut. The fifth and most important sign is a growth in holiness. If you start chasing after priesthood, married life, consecrated life, or diaconate, and all of a sudden you start becoming a better person, growing in virtue, love of God, love of neighbor, that is a really good sign. Saint Ignatius wrote the following, "Love consists in sharing what one has and what one is with those one loves. Love ought to show itself in deeds more than in words." It's a bit like that game Hot and Cold. The hotter you get, the closer you get to God's will for your life, the brighter His love burns within you. So that's it. 5 signs God might be calling you to a vocation. Persistent thoughts, joy and peace, positive affirmations, opening of doors, and growth in holiness. Thank you so much for watching. Know that if you are watching this, I am praying for you. God bless you and keep the faith.